What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am Joby, the Natural Gearhead. I got my daughter with me today, and we're gonna, oh jeez. So we're gonna show you how to upgrade your front speakers in your Jeep Wrangler to a more affordable version. All right, let's check it out. All right, guys, so in this video, I'm gonna show you how to upgrade your front speakers in your Jeep Wrangler to a more universal size, okay? Because what's in there is a 4x6 inch speaker. You're very limited on what speakers you can get for it. So a lot of people wanna change that, like us, to a little bit cheaper speaker. We're not putting a crazy sound system in this, so we don't wanna spend the money for the specialty 4x6 that has the special mounting points and all that stuff. So you can buy adapters, different ones for different sizes. We went with a 5 1/4 inch speaker, which is way more common and big variety of people who make them and things like that. And we're going with Scar Audio. Good reviews, never used them before. And we got some of these, and I'll show you that. It's an acoustic baffle, goes on the back of the speaker. And I'll show you that real quick. We got a little wiring harness adapter. And we got the actual adapters to be able to take that 4x6 speaker and adapt it down to a 5 1/2, right?
Sure.
Yep, see? And she's gonna be doing all the work, so yay! Stay tuned for that. Let's get you in here and take a better look at this real quick. All right, so on the table here, these are the speakers, and they're actually really nice. Scar RPX 525s. I'm hoping they sound good. I'm sure they'll sound decent. These are those acoustic baffles I was talking about. These are for the 5 1/4. So what this does, this will mount in here, basically, and you'll bolt it in, and what it does is keeps the sound projecting outwards, okay, instead of it getting lost behind the Jeep. In a Jeep with the top off, you need all the sound going towards the cabin that you can. So I've never used these either. I've always heard good things about them. I just have never actually used them. I never really had a use for it, but in this application, I think it's going to be really good. So that's how that'll work. And then you'll need a set of adapters. These adapters are going to bolt in where your speaker in there. It'll make more sense maybe whenever we get into the Jeep. These 4 bolts here is where the factory speaker mounts, and it's a very strange pattern. But it adapts it to these 5 1/4, and you can see all these different holes for different, speakers and manufacturers. And this lines up really good in there, no big deal. We'll be able to screw that right in to that. So you'll screw this into the Jeep. This will go in. This will screw into that, just like that. Okay, and we also picked up what you don't really need necessarily, but we just did it because it'll make it easier. It wasn't very expensive. It's a Metra 72-6512. It's the speaker harness. So what this does, it just allows you to plug into your harness of your Jeep. Now you can cut, basically in your Jeep you have this hanging, so you can cut that off and put these kind of connections on there. But buying something like this, you can unplug the factory speaker, plug this in, and then this will just go right onto your aftermarket speaker, and you're good to go. It just makes it quick, simple, easy, and that's what you need. Now, some tools, if you want to come over here and see the tools real quick, basically what you need: screwdriver. We're going to use a screw gun here, but at least a Phillips head screwdriver to get, I'll show you the panel off and the speaker out, maybe some plastic prying tools to pop the panel out. I'll show you that in a second, and then a magnetic tray to put all your screws. So let's get in here and get this apart and just show you what we got going on. We'll get the Jeep opened up here. She'll show you what 2 screws. What screws are we taking out?
These 2.
Okay, speakers behind here. So we got these 2 screws, which are Phillips, and there's a clip here and a clip here. So she's gonna go ahead and take them screws out. You may want to just disconnect this strap here on your door to allow your door to swing out a little more, give you some room. So she'll get those out real quick. All right, so she took the screws out, threw them down in the magnetic tray. Now we're gonna pop these clips. This is where the plastic tool comes in. Just kind of get in right there, pop it. There we go. Try to get on the bottom a little bit. Nice. And now you can see that speaker. Just set that aside. See the speaker. So you got, like I said, the 2 bolts there at the top, 2 bolts here at the bottom. They are also Phillips or hex head, so you can use a socket if you want. We'll just zip them out with the screw gun, pull the screws, throw them down in our magnetic tray. That screw's gone forever. She got it. All right, now we'll just grab the speaker and pull it out of there gently because there's wires on the back. And here's that plug I was telling you about earlier. So we're going to go ahead and get this disconnected. There's a place to depress it right here. So you'll squeeze that and pop it out real fast. That's out. So now our speaker's out. And this is the weird size I was telling you about. We are no longer going to use that. And this is your harness. And like I said, this will not work with your aftermarket. It won't just plug in if you've ever installed aftermarket speakers. So you'd have to cut these wires, put connectors, or you can buy that harness I showed you, which should plug right into this and plug into your aftermarket. So let's get going on getting the adapter installed. All right, so that did not go as planned. This harness, the 72-6512 that old Amazon said, yeah, this will fit your Jeep. It doesn't. So let me show you why real quick. So this is the harness that I cut out of the Jeep right here. And this is the harness that comes with the Metra kit. As you can see, this is the factory harness, would plug into right here. Okay, and just goes in. Boom, I have it upside down. It doesn't work. So it goes in like that, right? It's got two little pins in there. And I don't know if you can tell, but these pins are way wider. This is not the same connector. Similar, but not the same. You see there's a little split there. This doesn't have it. But the website says it fits, but that is not true. So that's going to have to get sent back. So we went a little bit old school and just wired it in. It is what it is. So this is how I did it. This is the complete setup ready to go in. If you come over here, I'll show you again. So you have to mount this foam piece between the speaker. I cut a little slit and ran it out. So this is what it looks like when we're assembling it, okay? So when you're putting in the adapter, I marked the holes. First thing I did is dry fitted the speaker. Just shows you a quick, just so you don't run into any issues, hopefully. Dry fit the speaker. I marked the holes, okay? So I know where that's going to bolt up. These adapters did come with little screws. So what we do is you take this, it goes in here. It actually will insulate between the speaker and the adapter, which is nice. See, I already had it on here. But you line it up, get it in, and I trim this. This was way wider. I trim it to fit so it matches nice, right? And then you'll take your wires, and don't need the old plug. All right. So you take your wires, you feed them through that slit in there that you made, and you just kind of feed that down. It's kind of a pain, I ain't gonna lie. Might not even be worth using the foam things, but I want to try them. So make sure your wires are in there and you don't mess up your connection. You'll line that up, you'll bolt it down, and now that you have it marked, because it's hard to see back there, so you can kind of like lift the corner and see where you marked it to line your bolts up, bolt that all in, and then you'll have something that looks like this, a pigtail hanging out with two bullet connectors. So I went with the bullet connectors on the Jeep side, and I'll show you why. Here, come over here real quick. Come inside the Jeep, we cut the harness, put the bullet connectors, and I put them on like this, a female and a male, same on the other side, so that they match up so that you can't mix them up. The speaker will work both ways, but the polarity will be backwards, so this is how I do it. This connection's a solid connection. Usually I shrink wrap this, but I don't have shrink wrap this small right now, so I might run a little bit of the tape on there just to protect the wires. But now we'll be able to come in, just plug those in real quick, push this in, bolt it up, and we'll be ready to go. So let's do that. All right, guys, so since I have my leads that I made and I showed you earlier, we'll just plug them in. Make sure when you, like I said, when you do this, you can't hook them up backwards. So I'll just shove these in. These are the bullet style connectors. Boom, done. So that's in. So now I'll just feed that back in there. Goes on the bottom. Now, I did notice when I dry fit it, this tends to hit this duct back in here. I'm hoping on the other side that we don't have that issue. But we're just going to kind of go with it and see how it does. I'll just kind of squish this a little. The speaker's way in there, see? We got tons of room there. So we'll try it, see how it goes. Just kind of move it out of the way, make a little divot in there. And it's foam, so it ain't going to hurt anything. I'll just get her in, just like so. Looks like our holes line up nice. I'm going to start running these screws in. this bolted up and get right back to you. All right, that's all tight, so now we'll just verify that it actually works. Since it's installed, and we'll just go right to this actual speaker. Oh yeah. All right, no copyrights. All right, we got that. That's good. So speaker works. Now we're ready to put the cover back on. It's on there nice and tight. Looks good. This is what it'll look like. Now you don't need to use these foam things. I just wanted to try it and see if it projects that sound out. That's what they say it does. I've never used them, but it does make sense. So we're going to see how it goes. So these, you'll just line them up and pop them back in place. Just like that. Put your 2 screws back in. All right, other side. All right, getting into the other side here. She wanted me to install that side because
I know what the heck I was doing.
Yeah, exactly. And so this side she's going to put in on her own. So we'll get these screws back out and get this cover back off, just like we showed you earlier. Okay, screws are out. We'll pry this thing back out. Use our little plastic tool. Boom, pop. Pop the bottom off. Get that thing out of the way. And we'll drop it on the ground. There it is. Perfect. All right, let's get our 4 screws out, and we'll pull that speaker out and unplug the harness, and then we're going to proceed to cut the harness and put our bullet connectors on there. All right, we're going to pull the last screw out, get the speaker out of the way. We'll get this unplugged.
Baby.
Boom, got it. All right, now next step, I'll go ahead and cut this connector off and start our wiring, get our wiring all in. So, okay, fast forward, we cut that off, that connector, we put our bullet connectors on just like we did on the other side, and I put some tape just to support it a little bit right here around the connector. Slid the 2 bullet connectors together, polarities are correct. This one was blue and purple, blue was negative according to the wiring diagram on the interwebs. So she's going to slide this in. This does have the duct also, so she'll have to squish this foam just a little bit and just slide it in and watch the wires on the bottom, make sure they're tucked in, and just kind of feed that in there. Let me come around this side, maybe you can see better. And just go easy and gentle. You don't want to force it, because chances are if you're forcing something, there's probably a problem. So you just slide it in until it's all the way in, and you can line up your mount holes, top and bottom, and we'll get these screws started. That looks like pretty good right there. Okay, she's tightening up the last screw. It's a nice fit. It does squish the foam, like I said, a little bit because of the duct in there, but I feel like it's going to really help that sound project into the Jeep. So we got all 4 screws in. Wiring looks good down there. It's not chafing on nothing, so that's nice. So we snug on all the screws. Yeah, okay. So now we'll go ahead and line up your clip and just kind of pop it in. Boom, nice. Put the last 2 screws in. All right, we'll get this last screw in here. Nice, it looks good. It's nice and tight, good install. Good job. High five, nice. And so let's fire up the radio and make sure they both work. All right, let's see if it works. We can only do it for a second. All right, coming on. Front speakers, both left and right. I don't know what's on.
Rolled with affordable coverage.
Oh, it's commercials. We're good.
Stop compromising. Keep
So
driving
that's both.
with Direct Auto. Get a free
Right.
quote at directauto.com.
Left.
98.9 WMMR.
Right.
This is
Both.
the police.
I like it. Not too bad. All right, guys, so that's the install for this one. As you see, pretty straightforward. I mean, not too bad. The fit was good. The foam pieces, they don't fit great, so use your discretion if you want to use them or not. They do sound good. Never used the Scar audio speakers. They sound pretty good. Not much bass there, but, you know, smaller speaker, so you get that. It comes along with the territory. But hopefully if you were thinking about installing these and you were just wondering how the fit went and the install went and all that stuff, hopefully you learned something from that. And did you learn anything?
Yep.
Yep. All right, so get your kids out in the garage, guys. Get them learning with their hands and playing with these cars, whether it's your old cars, newer cars like this. Get them out there learning, using their hands and stuff like that. So appreciate you watching, and like, subscribe, share all the things, and see you in the next one. Thanks again. to upgrade your front Jeep space, we're going to start over. That's what I'm saying. Guys, welcome back to the channel. Doing a quick trial of the audio. What do you think about the audio?
I don't know. I can't hear it.
What do you think about the stuff we got on the table here?
I have no idea what anything is.
Perfect.